Hi. As you can tell, I'm a Star Trek fan. In fact, I'm a Trekker, which is different from a Trekkie. A Trekkie thinks Star Trek is a religion, but a Trekker thinks it's a really cool television program. All right, and that's what I think. However, uh, I went to a Star Trek convention. My first one was right after Desert Storm. I went to the Sands Hotel Casino there in Las Vegas, and I met George Takei, and we had a nice conversation. I told him that episode where he was waving a sword actually inspired me to take up fencing, and I was pretty good at it. On the in the ballroom, they had a Trivial Pursuit contest going on, and up on stage were experts on the old show, the new show, the movies, and the books. So there's 4 people on this panel, and the rules were that if you stumped the panel, you got a prize. However, if you stumped everybody in the room, and there was about 1,000 of us on the casino floor there in the ballroom, you got a prop from the show. Later on, the Hilton Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas had the Star Trek experience. And when it opened, everybody that went to the Star Trek experience was sworn to secrecy about what the experience was. Well, what the hell? Yeah, I went. And as you stand in line to get into the ride or the experience, they had a Star Trek museum with all the props to the show. And it was fascinating. It was sort of just fun just to stand in line. And they had characters going back and forth. A Klingon from the new generations, full up, walking along. And in fact, he hit on my wife back then and tried to get her phone number. I'm going to tell you right now about the Star Trek experience. When you get to the head of the line, they call out about 20 of you. And you go through a door and it closes behind you. All right. And you're in this room with another door. And the person on the TV screen above you starts giving the safety briefing about this ride. And it's standard virtual reality Las Vegas. But holy shit. While you're watching this safety briefing and the room goes dark, fades to black, and this cold gust of wind hits you, and the lights come back on, and you find yourself on the transporter pad of the Starship Enterprise 1701D. And the transporter chief is like, got him! He's a live actor. And the door opens up, and in comes this ensign, and she says, quickly, come to us. Come, follow me. And we leave the transporter room, and we walk down a corridor, and we get in the turbo lift. The turbo lift works. Doors open up, and it's the bridge of the Enterprise D. And live actors are there working everything, and it's just real. And then, what was it? Riker comes on the main viewing screen and tells us that the Klingons have started a war again, or maybe it's the Borg. They changed it. And they went back in time and they killed off one of Jean-Luc Picard's ancestors. And the computer records say that one of us in the group is Picard's ancestor. So we were brought back in time to the current star date to fix things. Okay. Well, the Enterprise takes a really bad hit, and we're rushed to a shuttlecraft to escape. And you board the shuttlecraft, yes, exactly like the show. Well, not really. This is the ones that if you ever played Starfleet Generations, you'll know that it was the bigger transport, the mass transit shuttlecraft, where the pilot sits almost outside above you in the back. And Geordie LaForge is your pilot, and we blast out of the Enterprise, dodge everything in the world, and plummet down into this planet to escape. Well, we escape. And when we redock to the Enterprise, we all get out and are informed that one of the passengers was indeed Jean-Luc Picard. Spoiler alert, it was an actor dressed up as a regular tourist, and that we could now leave and go back to our own time and not say a word about this because it almost changed the timeline. And you dump down into Quark's bar at Deep Space Nine, which at the Hilton at the time was a real bar, and you could order uh, Romulan ale if you wanted, or you could have one of those weird dishes that looked like colored marshmallows and stuff. And it was a real restaurant. You could get a pretty good steak there, and then you could go through the tourist gift shop and buy things. Now, here's the good part. This is going to all tie together. If you went and got something from the gift store, say a Tribble, you would get one of these. It's nice, it's fluffy, right? Mm. Or you could get one of these. Pretty cool, huh? When you pet it, can you hear it? Bad Tribble. Can you hear it? Anyway, back to my story. So there we were in the Sands convention room with 1,000 people on the floor, and I asked a question. And the question was, what's Spock's first name? Now, you Trivial Pursuit people and you Trekkers out there might know, but if you remember from the Enterprise incident when the Romulan commander was wooing Spock, he whispered it to her, and it was unusual for a Vulcan and hard to pronounce in Vulcan. I asked this question, what's Spock's first name? It immediately stumped the panel, and they put it out to the floor, and it sounded like a Baptist revival. Everybody got their books out, and you could hear 1,000 people rustling through the pages. And after a few moments, nobody knew. And I got to win a prop from the show. You want the answer? Spock's first name is Edward. He's named after his human grandfather. He's embarrassed by it. It's hard to pronounce in Vulcan. It's very rare on Vulcan. And it's in Spock's World. I believe it's on page 274, but don't hold me to it. I know it's in Spock's World, the novel. Read it, know it, live it. So I was all excited. Hey, prop to the show. I wanted a phaser from the show, one that was held by Shatner or Nimoy. Guy in front of me got the phaser. I was pissed. However, I got this. This is a real Tribble from the show, It's a little messed up in the back now. This is one of the tribbles that dropped on William Shatner's head from the bin, the storage container of Quattro Triticale in the show Trouble with Tribbles. This is it. It's a real one. It was made in 1967. I got it. Cool as fuck, isn't it? Well, did I mention the gift shop? Yeah. So I was still hell bent to get a phaser, and at the gift shop, I got one. It cost me $250. Well, $249.99 plus tax. But there it is. It is an exact replica of the phaser on the show. It wasn't a prop. Those go for thousands of dollars now. There was only 6 of them, by the way, including the one that was crushed. Damn, I forget that episode. When was it? What little girls were made of, I think. When rock, somebody crushed it. But anyway, this is about as real as you can get. Pretty cool, huh? Well, anyway. Oh! Everything's okay. The cat's fine. The phaser was set to stun. Okay?